Are you ready? Because he's ready. It's Master Jeff, martial arts expert, instructor extraordinaire, and general clown. He's not afraid of coronavirus. He's not afraid of the bad guys. Master Jeff is not afraid of anything. Oh, sorry guys, my head feels like a balloon today, bro. But we're gonna do some forms and stuff. What's up, guys? I am gonna rely on someone much more beautiful and flexible and talented at forms than me, with much higher, more graceful kicks, as we attack the high Pyoungans. This morning, I know Bree was there and a couple of other people were there. We did the basics and Pyoungan 1. So we're going to get right to it. Ms. Zoe is going to be our forms model. So we will jump right into Pyoungan 2. We will be doing first Pyoungan 2 from the front. So here she goes. Chuẩn and 시작. Paddle and show. Isn't she lovely? All right, Zoe, as you do these forms, I love your intensity. Keep that same intensity. Give me about another half a second pause between moves so that when people are watching later on, they can go assess the moves. Like if you were doing testing, that would be perfect. But we want to do a little bit more of an academic pace, but with the same intensity. So that doesn't mean take a half second longer to punch the same speed. Whoop-ah! Just give me one little pause. All right, now Zoe's going to come up here, and we are going to do Pyoungan 2 from the back. 준비 and 시작. And paddle. Show. Very nice, very nice. So anyone watching this later, I think everyone who's watching now has pretty much got this, but let's review the little idiosyncrasies of Pyoungan 2, the first of which is this first middle block and outside block combo. So first of all, this should be like Pyoungan 3, or rather basic 3. This should be like basic 2. This still covers your whole head, right? Your arm is still vertical. And this one is still 90 degrees right there. So forearm and upper arm are both 90 degrees, which equals a 90 degree. I mean, each one of these, forearm and upper arm, are 45 degrees in relationship to the ground. So they are 90 degrees to one another, like that. And then the high block arm is on the outside and comes around like the hands of a clock, while the middle block is underneath and comes around just like basic 3, except it's this way. So the high block goes here, starts around this way, so that your outside block can come around on the outside. So the middle block starts on the inside, and when you raise your hands, now look, it's on the outside. It's on the inside, it's on the outside. So there, like that. And then of course, for that punch, following the uppercut, let's look at the uppercut. So when we're here, a lot of people are punching on the inside right here. I don't get it, because it blocks off your punch. So this middle block, you brace it in here, and then this one shoots out. You have to have some distance on it. So this has got to be out of the way. If you try to punch under your elbow, you're going to get hung up too. So your elbow and wrist and everything needs to be out of the way so that this thing can punch without breaking your back stance. And then you pull this arm behind you to get that horse stance punch. And then you've got the middle blocks out the wazoo. Coming down the middle, of course, you've got the reverse techniques, right? And you can watch all that and figure it out. And the rest of the form is pretty self-explanatory at your levels. So Zoe is going to head over there. And we are going to try Pyoungan 3 from the front, just watching like she's on a stage. All right, Zoe, chumi. And remember to give us about a second between each technique and keep up that same beautiful intensity. Pyoungan 3, sita. Puddle. And show. All right, now Zoe's going to come on up right there, and we are going to do Pyoungan 3 from the back as if she were lined up ahead of you. So Zoe, chumi. Pyoungan 3, sita. And puddle. Show. Very good. All right, Zoe, let's face the screen. And right there. Very good. Chumi. And let's watch her first couple of moves. Hana. So notice when she goes to the next move, this is the hand that's up, and this is the hand that's going to end up. Dual. So see this hand, it's up now. When she does this combo, look, it's up again. So that's the way you can remember and check yourself if you're first learning Pyoungan 3. All right, let's head down the middle, do your front stance T-block. And on this, it's very easy to not turn far enough. So if you're right here, people often spear hand, they'll come around, they don't want to turn far enough, so they end up punching way over here. No, your feet need to stay on the same track so you have good body control, which she did a good job of, Julio. So do it again, please, Zoe. So your foot comes all the way over, so it's like she's walking on railroad tracks. Very good. Last but not least, we're going to turn the form around as if she had started with her back to you, and now she's coming back down the middle. We, of course, have these elbow strikes. So you want to make sure to save some energy for that elbow strike. When we're first learning an inside crescent kick, we want to just put everything into it. Then we've got nothing left for this elbow. So as we're learning to do a well-controlled kick of any kind, you want to be able to kick and then do whatever you want afterwards. So those kicks are very controlled. Wait, bam. And then very controlled. Wait, bam. So you have your plenty of room left to check. So show them, please, Zoe, right here. And ready, set, 1, 2. See, she's saving that elbow back, 3. She saves her elbow. So she has a little bit of juice left for that old elbow. Very good, Zoe. All right, let's head back and we will do Pyoungan 4 from the front. And again, this is like a stage. So chumi and sija. And puddle. and then Zoe, come on up here. Now Zoe's gonna do Pyoungan 4. Oops, not Pyoungan 5 from the back. I'm blind. We're gonna do Pyoungan 4 from the back. Pyoungan 4 from the back as if she were standing ahead of you in line. So Chumi and Sicha. Puddle. Show. Very good, very good. All right, Zoe is looking unusually snappy and solid and intense today. And I will point out about her the same thing I have pointed out about Master Settles all the time. And really anyone who does their forms well, you start watching Zoe and it's like, oh, that looks so good. Oh, it's so good. I can never be that good. But if you really stop and think about it, she's just doing very simple stuff very, very well. She's just got her fundamentals down, dude. Every one of her front stances are like this with her front knee bent. Every one of her back stances are like this with her weight on her back leg, 60-40, just like those videos. So that's the reason we didn't cover those basics today first, is because hopefully you guys will go watch the basic 1, 2, 3 Pyoungan 1 videos, and there we reviewed yet again the stances, and the stances are in another independent video. Each stance gets its own independent video on the website. Look for 1-minute lessons on the website, and there they are: front stance, back stance, horse stance. I made fresh ones just a few days ago. So those are like prerequisites, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I see it all the time. You see somebody who knows their Pyoungan 4 or their Pyoungan 5, and you think, they know it, but it just doesn't look so good. And I guarantee you, if you check it closely, it's because the fundamentals are all messed up. And yes, Zoe's got some things going for her, like her high kick. But I promise you, even if you don't have high kicks, you do a good solid mid-range kick, but you get the fundamentals solid like she had it, and it's going to look fantastic. All right, so let's take Pyoungan 4 and detail this bad boy. So let's start right over here, Zoe. And Chumi. Hana. Good. Notice she didn't skip her back leg. That back leg stays put when you first start. Let's do it one more time. You see a lot of people, they've seen the form and they've seen the skip on one side, so they start the form with a skip. No, it does not start with a skip. This leg is planted. So here we go. 1, and look, she lands in a textbook back stance. Already she's slapping you upside the head with a fish with her good solid basics. 2, good solid fundamentals. Now watch, she's going to skip in an L. Hana. Good. And I don't know if you noticed her hip twist. So then let's rest for a second. She took advantage of that L skip to feed her twist. She had her body twisted and then an elbow up and then slammed down. And I heard Master Settles working with somebody on this the other day. And after Master Settles left, I told this kid, I forget who it was, think of it like a punch. If you just take the left hand out of the equation and you skip over and you act like you're punching straight down. You get your elbow behind that fist and punch straight down, except it's at a little more of an angle and you let your left hand join the party. But it's the same kind of concept. We're skipping and hiking that elbow up and lowering the boom on this bad boy. Kapow! Like that, just like Zoe's doing. And then you capitalize on that L-shaped skip to really put your body into it. Okay, come on back over here, Zoe. So let's just start from the beginning. Chumi. And Hana. Good. Do. Now watch her L skip. I can stand right here without affecting her because she's going to skip right around me. Set. And did you see the body twist and the elbow hike? Net. Hana. a couple of things. Number one, look at how she's got her knee bent on the side kick ready. She's got that thing down. Okay, rest right there. And that's just another one of those little things, and it's a fundamental, very simple thing. I mean, you don't have to go to the snowy mountain peaks of Korea and have Kwai Chang Caine tell you to bend your knee. You can do that in your living room right now. You can do it tonight in the shower, or for me, next week when I take a shower. I can just bend my knee in the shower with my weekly shower. And it's just one more thing, and those little basics like that keep smacking you upside the head as if with a dead peacock bass. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Before her form destroys you. Okay, so let's come back over here. Notice another thing. When she's coming for her side kick ready, she actually does a slow execution of a down block and of a high block. She doesn't just come here and assume the position. No, she comes here, double chambers, and does a high block and down block, and then pulls it around. Show us one more time right there, Zoe. So start from your middle block. Hana! You see the high block and down block? And now the bent knee. Boom! All right, I ain't even going to talk about that side kick because she hurts my feelings every time she does a side kick. She does it high enough to like take out my armpit every time. It's so nice. Also, this is another common mistake on Pyoungan 4 is people are kicking with their left leg, so they're thinking left side, left side, left side, must be a left elbow. It is the opposite. And a good question to ask is why? But why, Master Settles? Why do you want me to kick with my left and elbow with my right? What difference does it make? Well, look, when you're kicking with this leg, which arm is chambered? You can step and push into this thing. Whoop-ah. Your whole body's moving forward, and this thing's coming from back here. You got a super powerful elbow. So write it down somewhere on some notes. Left side kick, right elbow. Right side kick, left elbow. So I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, Zoe. Come on back up here again and do that beautiful side kick ready with a high block, down block. Bend that knee. Do left kick, right elbow, ready. Now you can't see it from there, but she's also on that elbow strike landing in a shoulder width apart front stance. So let's do it from the side, Zoe. So do your middle block that way. And now side kick ready toward the camera. And let's scoot you right there. So look at her foot. It's not going to land in line with you. It's going to land over here. So ready, set, go. Kick, boom. Now freeze on your elbow strike. Because I want them to see that your foot's going to land way over here. Ready, set, go. And then pop to red. Right, then your 2 feet, they split the difference. So here you are doing your side kick, you land in a front stance, and then your feet split the difference for the horse stance. All right, one more time, side kick ready. Kick, elbow ready. And then that time you landed more in a line. So make sure you get that left foot out. There you go, very good. Now, freeze. Now she's going to do a side kick ready this way, and this time you scooch up. So Hana, scooch up. Dual. Good, and again, she had that shoulder width apart. I'm going to try something Master Settles' idea. You guys tell me if you see a difference. Now, maybe we'll see. Okay, so Zoe, let's try again. Side kick ready this way, and when you do that scooch up, really exaggerate this high block, down block as you're doing the scoochy up. So start right here. Now scooch up and really exaggerate. Yeah. Do. Good. Yeah, and then she forgot about the chop. So let's do that again with the chop. Side kick ready. Kick, elbow, chop. Do. Hana. Push, pull. And let's freeze right there. This push-pull thing is really a cool technique. When I was a first-degree black belt and I first started teaching, Master Vasera gave me this school at the Baptist Hospital Fitness Center. I knew academically what this move did, but people weren't getting it. They kept going like this or whatever. And so I just called some poor red belt up in class and I went, look, you shove them, you like double palm strike and then yank them back like this. And the poor guy's head is like that. And it whiplashed his neck. He actually had whiplash, which is why I always say whiplash, because that's exactly what it will do with that ballistic pressure and the ballistic pull back. Also, you keep your arms tucked in on anything like that. You don't want them out like, look, I'm trying to do a gun stance. You want those elbows tucked in. When you come out to push and pull, you pull them back with your elbows nice and tucked. So come on up here again, Zoe, chop, or rather kick, jump, key up. So start from the block chop, kick, jump, key up, kick, and hunt off, push, pull. Good. Dual, kick, punch, punch. And always the hand of the leg that kicks goes first. So if you do a right kick, then your right goes first. Choom, choom, like that. Dual, push, pull. Set, left, left, right. Good. And then hana, middle block. Dual, middle block. Set, middle block, head grab. Good. And let's freeze right there for a second. Really scrutinize yourself anytime you have this change from a back stance to a front stance. You see all kind of configurations people come up with. They'll be here, they'll go, and like both stances are wrong. Like the back stance is too wide and the front stance is too narrow. And they come up with all the stuff. All you have to do, watch the videos that I made and follow the directions. The back stance is 90 degrees, 3-foot lengths, both knees bent. The front stance, shoulder width apart, front knee bent. All you have to do is switch it. So you block and then switch it per textbook directions to your head grab. And then when you go for this head strike, you don't re-raise your hands. If you're raising your hands, raise your hands to chamber that head strike. It's like you had the guy by the head, you pulled his head off his body, and then you slammed his decapitated head across your knee. No, not going to happen. All that's going to happen is your hands are going to raise above his head, and he's going to go, and walk away. So after you do that grab, you hold him there, and then you bring it straight down, coordinated with your raising knee. So Zoe, let's try that. Let's start right here. You got the head grab. Let's face the camera this time. Dual. Nice. Set. And you see the bent knees and the 90-degree feet? It's just she keeps slapping you upside the head with fundamentals, bro. And paddle. All right, very good. And Zoe, let's check and see if anyone has any questions. My child is having nightmares because you smashed a balloon that looked like someone's head. I'm sorry, Mrs. Paco, but this is Taekwondo, not basket weaving. Brianna, not, okay, cool. Isabella is, hi, Isabella, how are you doing? And who else? No balloon. Yeah, the poor guy. He had COVID-19 anyway. This kid in our neighborhood told Seven, man, if you get that COVID-19, game over. Seven's like, not so much, dude, unless you're like 80 years old. Yeah, man, it's game over if you get that. And I'm like, no. So please do not smash your head across your knee if you get COVID-19. You will be fine. Oh, David, what is up? Dog diggity, put it right there, man. I can't see you, but I'm going to trust that you're giving me a pump up. All right, so let's proceed. Zoe's going to head down there. And we are going to do Pyoungan 5 from the front. So this is if you were watching on stage. So to me, Pyoungan 5, and remember to give us a nice pause between each move. Sicha. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Puddle. Show. So did you see the right leg back to ready? Because let's stop and talk about that for just a moment. The right leg back to ready is because the right leg was in front. So usually the left side's considered traditionally the thinking side, and the right side's like your warrior side. So we start all forms in Taekwondo that I know of, start on the left side for that reason, just because you think before you resort to violence. And at the end, you also come back to ready with your left for the same reason. However, if your right foot is forward at the end of a form, and then you take your left foot back to ready, you come forward. So you're like this. So it seems a little bit more aggressive than if you said, okay, we'll forget the left-right thing and we'll step back to ready. You take your right foot back. Now, it doesn't count as your left leg being forward if you end in a front stance. And so let's say I end in a front stance this way. And so my right leg is shoulder width apart, therefore it's a little closer to the camera. That doesn't count as being forward. We would still come back to ready with our left leg. And there are a few forms that end something like that. And a lot of people on Pyoungan 3, they come over this way and they go this way and they think, man, the middle is over here, so I'm going to come back to ready with my right leg. So I'll be back in the middle. Forget the middle. You don't have to be in the middle. You lift your right leg. Except for Pyoungan 4. Yes, you lift your left leg. Thank you, Zoe. Come back to ready with your left leg, unless your right leg is significantly forward, in which case you bring it back. Okay, so let's break Pyoungan 5 down a little bit. Oh, wait, did we do Pyoungan 5 from the back yet? No. Okay, so let's do Pyoungan 5 from the back first, as if Zoe were lined up ahead of you in class. So here is Pyoungan 5 from the back. To me and Sita. Puddle. Show. Very good, very good. I think the one, I think Zoe's lined up in front of you and in line ahead of you was better than the one facing you. Not that the one facing us was bad, it was still good. You had a bobble in there where you almost went into Bosai, remember? You thought the other one was better? No, I like this one. But who knows? What are you guys talking about burning bodies while I'm spouting words of wisdom? Golden droplets of knowledge are spitting out my mouth, and you guys should be slurping them up. But you're talking about, I mean no, or whatever they're saying. I don't know what they're saying, Zoe. But seriously, Zoe is doing her front stances like pro style, which is literally shoulder width apart. And if you think about it, if your pinky toes are right on the inside of your shoulders, that's shoulder width apart. You can call that shoulder width apart. If your big toes are on the outside of your shoulders, I guess you could still call that shoulder width apart. So you have a range from here to here, all of which could be considered, I'm trying to see myself on the screen, from here to here, all of which could be called shoulder width apart, from there to there. Yeah, my screen on the Zoom screen, it turns it mirror image for you, so it's like you're looking in a mirror, not on OBS. But Zoe is going toward the inside, which to me is more like an advanced, technically correct. If you see me doing front stances, I do a lot of stuff just because I'm oriented to teaching young children their first class. So I'll make my front stance like this, which is too wide. This goes, maybe a foot width wider than my shoulders. My shoulders are about like this. I could even get away with this. So my front stance could be like this, no problem. In fact, that would focus my energy forward. However, you show a 5-year-old white belt this, and they're going to do this. They're not going to get that they need some width unless you show them this. I show a white belt 5-year-old this, then they might give me that. So you see that a lot of times. Also, when you see me do basic 1, a lot of times I'm punching down here. You're like, Master Jeff, that's a belly button punch. I know. Then I do basic 2, and it's like, Master Jeff, you're punching an elephant right in the... So, but yeah, once again, a kid doesn't see the difference in this and this. It's just too subtle. So I do this and this. Zoe, however, was not doing the kid version. She was doing the black belt version. So you might see that she didn't move as much, like on her spirit hand rip out. That was a lot of movement for me just then because my front stance was a little wide. Really, it's about right there. Is how technically black belt wise, that's how it should look. And she was knocking it out. She was nailing it. All right, so let's detail this Pyoungan 5 a little bit. So come on over here, Zoe. So to me and Hana. She looks first. Notice that she looks first. And on the next move, she's going to look at you first. Ooh. Now, let's rest right there. Everything in Taekwondo, everything in anything, there's not like a correct way to do it. There's the results of doing it this way and the results of doing it that way. And when it's something aesthetic, like bringing your foot from here to here, this works, so does this. Me, I tend to be dramatic. I don't know if you guys knew that about me, but I can tend to be dramatic sometimes. But so Zoe is doing, she's coming here, and then she's doing like a subtle thing like this. I like to hike my knee up. I like to go bang, bang, look up, or my knee's actually pointing at you, and then switch. Either way is just fine. You look and see what looks good to you. For that matter, coming back to ratty, I like to have my foot pointing down like this, and then straighten it on the floor when it hits. So from the side, I would look like this, instead of back to ready like this. But either way is just fine. And a lot of people get done with their form and they're like this, like they're doing a side kick straight down. Nothing wrong with that. Totally all perfectly within the green zone of correct. It's not even yellow, all that stuff. Okay, so Zoe, come on back over. So Hana, block punch. Duel, look. Switchy, set, look. Net, look. And Hana. Did you notice the belt twist? Now watch as she hikes that elbow up and lowers the boom for the stick block. Duel. Good set. She pops her hips. She kicks. She down blocks. She targets. Notice she's still in a horse stance. 7. Notice your sister is still in a horse stance, the way she's supposed to be. Duel. Kick it, strike it. Set. Fists are closed here. Both fists closed. Net. Now hands are both open. Pass it. And rest right there a second. So this jump can be complicated for people first learning it. Where do we jump from, Zoe? Now all of a sudden I'm forgetting. We jump from, oh yeah, we jump from right here. So I'm going to jump towards you. Doing the form starting this way, you would jump that way. So pretend I started the form here, facing like this, so I'm ending up coming towards you. So the footstep sequence is you're here in a cat stance, your left foot springs up, Your right foot dead stops and your left goes behind it and you come down like this. And then your right continues forward into a front stance. So you go right here. So basically it's left, right, left, right. Just like that. And the cat stance, left, right, left, right. That's just slow motion breakdown so that you can see what she's doing. She did it correctly, but she's moving pretty quickly. All right, so let's do it again, Zoe. Start from the T-block. T-block that way. Now watch her feet. Oh, let's get out the tape. I love getting out tape. You can rest, Zoe.
Can I go get water?
Here, you get some of this right here. Maybe a little wide for you. No, it'll be fine. All right, so Zoe's going to be shoulder width apart in a T-block right here. When she turns to do her spear hand, she needs to be shoulder width apart without this foot having moved. So turn, spear hand, freeze. So she's going to go, and look, she even went outside the line. Maybe I made them too narrow for her. Then this foot needs to be even with this foot for the rip out. Ready, set, go. So her left foot is going to travel from here to here, back to here. 1, 2, 3. So let's try it again from the T-block. And do it on the count. Hana. Do. Good. See how the foot traveled? One more time, Zoe. And I thought they were too wide. Looks like I made the tape probably too narrow. Hana. Do. There's the way your feet go. And then also notice how her front stance, because her feet are spaced properly, when she turns around here, her hips are forward. I like to even cheat and shoot this hip forward a little bit more as I do that spear hand. So I'm actually twisted a little too much. Then I can really rip out into that back stance. Once again, it's a range. It's a range, and that's all within the acceptable range. Let's watch her one more time because this is probably one of the most difficult parts of the form. So a T-block and Hana. See, everything's committed, straightforward. Front stance, textbook, do. Now it's a back stance. Feet 90 degrees, straight on that line. Back knee bent more. Okay, very good. And then for the turn right here. So she's done her first. Where do we end up, Zoe? Do we end up jumping that way with the T-block? Yes, let's start right here with the T-block. And then Hana, spear hand, rip out. Do, open balance. Set. Good. So this little turn right here is not so hard, but people trip over themselves all the time. All you have to do is just lift up your left heel and let it go over your right foot like that as you turn. And then your hands, meanwhile, shoot out like this. And they're like this as if you were hanging from monkey bars. So left heel up, goes right over your right foot. Let's try it again. So you're from the rip out. Okay. Hana. Do. And once again, you see the lines, front stance, back stance. Paddle right leg back to ready. And show. Bravissimo. Zoe. So let's see how everybody's doing over here. And David says, long live the tape. Yes, indeed, long live the tape. So does anybody have any questions about Pyoungan 2 through Pyoungan 5? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Hi, Fernando. And Fernando, you know what? Fernando is doing Bosai. We've got like 7 minutes left. This wasn't a Bosai-oriented class, But I think we could throw in a Bosai. What do you think, Zoe?
Okay.
Okay, let's throw in a Bosai for Fernando. So come on over there, Zoe. All right. Sorry, you don't get a little sign. Here, I'll make you a sign. Bosai. There's Bosai. Here we go. Chumi and Sita. Puddle. Show. Very good. And let's take these tapes up. We will save this tape. Oh, we won't save that piece. We'll stick it on Bob.
That's not Bob. That's Mr. Black.
That's Black Betty. That's the name of my bicycle, Black Beauty. I love my black bicycle, man. She is the best. Okay, so let's have Zoe do Bosai from the back. All right, Zoe, so start right there. Chumi, feet together, and Sita. Puddle. Both feet together. Show. All right. Zoe had some very good techniques in there, but we're going to let her have a redo so that you guys, when you do the rewind, will have one form all the way through. So here again is Bosai from the back. You guys like that fancy OBS plug-in that I got here? Bosai from the back. All right, so try it again. Zoe, Chumi. And Sita. Puddle. Show. Okay. All right. It is about time to rock it because I need to get ready for the 5 o'clock class in which I will be doing the Pyoungan forms, all 8 of them. So I don't know how much time we're going to get to delve into a lot of detail, but it will be the Pyoungan. So there will now be a 2002 record, a recording of the Paul Guy forms. So if you don't know the Paul Guy forms, come on over and practice with this. Do you remember the Paul Guy forms, Zoe?
Not most of them, but I kind of remember the one like it says hypo.
Yeah, that's Paul Guy too. Yeah, and it'll be a chance for old Master Yepu to knock some rust off the brain. But anyway, whoopsie, Zoe. Yeah. Long live the tape. Whoopsie, Zoe. Thanks for the Bosai, Master Jeff and Zoe. You got it, Fernando. I hope that helps you out a little bit. I believe Bosai is also already posted on the website, but it's not from the back. It's only from the front. So Zoe's version that she just did just now is the only version that our school has of Bosai from the back. So you watch those, you zero in on your style, what you're going to do. All right, guys, I better get out of here so that I can get ready. Zoe, thank you very much, sister. You look good today. 5 it up right there. And guys, we are out of here. This has been a South Miami Taekwondo live stream with Master Jeff. Avoid practicing the techniques you learn in live stream with Master Jeff. Outdone, stoned, sloshed, tipsy, buzzed, blotto, slammed, plowed, jolly, play-eyed, hammered, wasted, inebriated, or otherwise intoxicated. Watching live stream with Master Jeff, you acknowledge the possibility of and waive all liability for hematoma, laceration, occipital fracture, broken nose, acute mandibular dislocation, strained wrist, hyperextended elbow, broken ribs, bruising, or bleeding, tear, sprains, fractures, dislocated shoulder, or concussion. All rights reserved. Unauthorized presentation and publication strictly prohibited.